Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Show. I'm your host, Lee Master C. Today we have a very important topic that we're going to talk about today, right? And it's something that I realized over time. I wouldn't necessarily say that's something that I was taught or nothing as a kid or growing up or nothing. It's more something that I just realized, right? It's the signs that shows that you're one of the chosen ones, right? And what I mean by that, right? I don't mean it in a superhero movie type, like not in that way, but in the sense that it's like you're a natural born leader, right? You might be the one that's gonna break maybe generational curses. You might be the one that changed your whole family trajectory through whatever your success. You might find a cure to something. You might create something or invent something that's just gonna change the world, right? Might be the next Steve Jobs or what have you, right? But this is what we're gonna touch on today. Here are the 4 signs that you are one of the chosen ones. Number 1, you always feel like you're the most passionate person in your circle. And what I mean by that, right? Okay, cool. Let's say it could be you and your friends or business partners or family, and y'all say, okay, we're gonna work on this particular project, idea or business venture, what have you, right? So you might be the one that's calling everybody up. Okay, was this taken care of? Was this done? Was that done, right? You might be the one putting in the most groundwork. You feel like you might have to drag people along with you for them to really, stay on top of what they're supposed to do, right? And that really shows you that you're the one. You're the leader. In that family, crew, circle, whatever you want to call it. You're the natural born leader. You're the chosen one, right? You're the LeBron James, you're the Michael Jordan, right? Like you're just him or her, right? And it can be at first, it can be annoying. It has to be something that you have to accept, and also understand that, as a leader, sometimes, a lot of times people do need that person around, to really show them like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that, and really stay on top of things, right? And orchestrate and organize, whatever, the vision is, right? The operation is, or whatever you want, however you want to put it, right? So it's very important, right? But like I said, at first it can be aggravating because you can feel like you're just putting a lot of work. You're just putting a lot of work, and you don't feel like everybody around that situation is necessarily putting in the same amount of work as you are. Number 2, what a lot of people would consider as things or activities that are fun or what have you, you feel like it's a waste of time and or resources, right? So it can be a lot of things, right? It could be some people, they're into going to the club and partying, and if that's their thing, it's that's their thing. But for you, you're so focused on the vision that you have and the purpose that you're on and what you're trying to accomplish. To you feel like, what's the point? And they might look at you like you crazy. They might even tell you you're boring, and you might feel like they judging you, because sometimes they are. Not to say that they're bad people for it, but they might feel like, does he or she feel like they better than me or something? But in reality, you're so focused, you're so locked in, you're trying to accomplish something, right? So that's the reason why, you move how you move. They may not understand it, right? But again, that's just something that you got to understand that comes with the territory. A lot of people may not understand your purpose, your vision, until later on. Some may never, but it's like, you got to think, okay, cool. Like, do I want to stay on that path and accomplish what I need to accomplish? Or do I want to do what they're doing and, after the fact, underachieve? it's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm not pointing that out as far as like the club. That was the example that came to mind, because for me, that's something that is definitely, I feel like, is a waste of time, right? But at the same time, I've seen the other side of it. I've done security work at clubs, so I've seen the other side of it. I've seen the side of having to kick somebody out because they're too drunk, and you know, I've seen the other side, right? And I've been on both sides of the fence when it comes to, you know, the nightlife, if you will, right? So that's just my perspective. At number 3, you find it hard to fit in. And honestly, this one can fit in with the last one, right? Because a lot of times what happens is you may be into books, you may be into certain documentaries, you may be into things that a lot of people consider boring, honestly, right? But again, it aligns with your vision, your purpose, your calling, right? So you stay locked in, you stay focused on that. But that doesn't mean that, again, everybody's gonna understand it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you just gotta stay locked in. You have to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because at the end of the day, God has a vision for you, a purpose for you, and you want to make it reality. You know, so again, a lot of people don't realize what you're trying to do right now until later on. You know, so it is what it is. Number 4, they are intimidated by your light. And this is what I mean by that, right? So I've been in these situations where, let's say for example, I might not be the highest rank, let's say in a company, right? Like, let's say there's like, you know, the 3 CEO, CFO, COO, right? And you know, I'm right under that branch, right? Like, you know, I'm managing or what have you, right? So a lot of times what can happen is you may come up with better ideas than some of the higher ups, right? And somebody that's comfortable and confident in their skin, and in their skills, you know, they're gonna be happy. Like, you bringing in great ideas that's gonna benefit the whole situation. But you know, sometimes it is these people that they haven't dealt with these insecurities, so they're looking at you like a threat, like, you know, like you might come to take their spot or anything like that, right? But again, you know, that really, it comes with it. It's like, you know, not everybody is going to be comfortable, right? And I don't mean to get preachy, but it's like, you know, it's the same way Jesus was a perfect man, but you know, there was jealousy there. There was people that didn't believe him, right? So that's what comes with it. You know, when you're in wherever you're at, right? Whether it's in your family, your job, if you have that light, it's something special about you. It's really something about you, whether it's what you're gonna accomplish, whether it's just who you are as a person, your aura, if you will. Some people are gonna get intimidated by that because they feel like that's something they're lacking. So you're basically irritating their demons in a sense, right? So, me personally, what I would say, sometimes, you know, obviously you got to do what you got to do. Let's say you're in a job and it's paying your bills, right? And you know, you're taking care of things in that job. You know, I definitely understand you got to do what you got to do, but you definitely got to watch for people like that, because you know, they may try to sabotage the situation because they feel insecure, right? So you know, you probably don't want to be around these type of people, you know. And if you need to be for the time being, just, you know, be real careful and real watchful, because a lot of times these people may still feel insecure, but then they'll still have, it's like, you know, they're conning in a sense, right? They'll make it seem like, yeah, we cool and everything, but you could tell it's just something just off about it, right? Or it's just things that other people will come back and tell you that the person didn't tell you directly. It's things like that, right? But again, that comes with the territory, you know, and you got to embrace that. And a lot of times it just tells you, a lot of times you got to pay attention. Am I getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm actually, my vision and my ideas are starting to get too big for the situation that I'm in, right? A lot of times there's certain things you might come up with, certain ideas and certain things you want to do, and you feel like these people don't want to necessarily put in the work to execute it the way you want to, or you know, if they're in a position where they're the one funding the situation, they may not want to put the funds into it. And a lot of times these signs are actual signs of, okay, you know what, you know, I need to level up, you know, whether it's you creating your own situation and becoming your own boss, or if it's a situation where you work at one place but now you probably need to work, you know, to another level. You know, you might be substitute teacher now, you know, you might want to go to Harvard or any big university or what have you, and you want to teach there. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, you just got to pay attention to these signs. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Follow me, Instagram, Lee Master C, TikTok, Lee Master C, MIC. Yeah, if you have any questions, you know, you can leave them in the comments section, or you can DM me on one of those social media platforms. I appreciate y'all tapping in. The International Show. Peace.